I was impressed with that move you pulled. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's me, it's G, it's Dublin D, the undefeated, undisputed YouTube champion. That's right, it's the Maverick, Mark Daniels, here with another tier list. This time we are covering the AEW All Elite Wrestling roster. Now, I'm recording this in mid-November, so honestly, there could be some new additions to the roster, like some big names that won't be covered in this, so just kind of a disclaimer. So we have here our tiers. We have God tier, amazing, great, good, not so good, and of course, garbage. Now, this feels like a bit harsh to put people in, because obviously these are real people. That's just what normally I do for my tier list. I usually don't involve like actual people. Usually it's Pokemon or video games or something. Just know that this isn't me saying this is a garbage person. They're that terrible at wrestling or anything like that. This is just the bottom of the tier list. I thought about naming this something maybe a little less harsh, but I didn't know what to really name. I could have done just like S rank, Z rank. I thought about doing like main eventer or world champion and like mid carder, but then I felt like, well, that might make me put people in a certain spot that maybe I would like to rank higher just because I really enjoy them. This is also me not saying they're the best wrestler of all time, or these are just my personal enjoyment from these wrestlers. So anyways, let's get started. Oh, one thing I like to mention in these tier lists, as it drives me crazy when people put half their list in the very top tier, their Z plus tier, their S plus tier. We're not going to be doing that here. There are like over 130 wrestlers here though, so maybe I would say maybe 15 to 20 or less up here, but I'll probably try to go like closer to 10, but we'll see how things go. So since there are over 130 people here, let's just jump straight into it. So we have Austin Gunn, part of the Gunn Club. I haven't really seen too much from them because they haven't really been on Dynamite. I don't watch Dark and Elevation. For some reason, I wanted to say Evaluation. I had to slow it down there. It's late here as well, so I apologize. But Elevation, I don't watch Dark or Elevation. I do watch Dynamite and Rampage. But from what I've seen from him, he's alright. We'll put him in not so good for now. We might move some stuff around as we go. Bobby Fish. I do like Bobby Fish quite a bit. In AEW, he's been really great. In NXT, obviously he was the fourth member of a stable. He was kind of like the fourth guy, just because that's kind of the position they put him in. He's a little bit older, and maybe he was a little injury prone also in NXT. So that kind of held him back a little bit. But man, I love Red Dragon, the tag team with him and Kyle O'Reilly back in Ring of Honor, New Japan. So I rank Bobby Fish quite high personally. That's just me though, right? So I'm gonna put him in amazing. I think he certainly deserves that. Andrade El Idolo, big fan. Liked his stuff in NXT. Like his stuff in AEW as well. He hasn't done enough for me though in AEW for me to say he's God tier, but could certainly put him in amazing. And this might be controversial, but as it stands currently, I've enjoyed more Bobby Fish matches than Andrade matches as a whole. Just me personally, so I got to keep Bobby Fish ahead of him, but I like both just fine. Anthony Ogogo, obviously he left after his match with Cody to go get some eye surgery. And we haven't really seen him since then. He's obviously very green as well, relatively new. But from what we saw from him, he's got something there for sure, right? I want to put him in good. I think there's something there with him. He keeps grinding. He keeps getting those reps in. I think we can see something big with him in the future. Next is Anthony Bowens, one half of the Acclaimed. I'm a big fan of Anthony Bowens, as well as Max Caster. We'll get to him when we get to him, obviously. I'm going to put him in great. I think they're great as a unit. I think even just as a solo wrestler, we've seen him have some single matches. He's really good. Definitely got a bright future as Anthony Bowens. Red Velvet, another wrestler who has a pretty bright future, if you ask me, in the women's division. I'm going to put her in good. She's still green. She does some things. She misses a lot of moonsaults. Let's just be honest. But she's got something there. She's got fire to her. I can't wait to see what she does in the future. She's really good. Riho is a phenomenal talent. I'm going to put her... I'm tempted to put her in God tier because I feel like in the women's division, she's definitely top 5. Probably top 3. I'd have to really look at the roster. For now, I'm going to put her behind Bobby Fish. above Andrade. Again, that's gonna be controversial, but I really like Riho, and I gotta kind of compare her to like the women's division. She's near the top for sure, but I don't think she's quite got here yet for me. But she's really good. She's really good. Ruby Soho as well is amazing. Loved her as Ruby Riott in WWE, obviously. Didn't get to do too much there, but for what she did, she was very impressive. What she did in WWE, in AEW, she's been really good as well. I'm gonna put her also in amazing tier, probably a below Andrade though, for now. But she obviously has a bright future in AEW. Serena Deeb, absolutely incredible when it comes to technique and being a tactician in the ring, a technician. I said tactician, technician. She's definitely one of the best in any division. I think she's so smooth in the ring. Honestly, even though she hasn't been like a women's champion yet in AEW, I'm gonna put her in God tier. I think she's one of the best, if not the best, women's wrestler they got. I might put a couple above her, but I think she definitely belongs to be at the very top. Tay Conti, or Ty Conti, I should probably pronounce her name right. She's really good as well. Still a little green, but she was in NXT for a while, had a lot of upside. You'd think that they would have done something a little bit more with her, but in AEW she's been doing nothing but improving. I think she's great, and I'm actually going to put her above Anthony Bowens for now, just because she's been able to do a little bit more in AEW than Anthony Bowens. She just wrestled for the women's title at Full Gear in a pretty good match against Britt Baker, DMD, and I'm going to put her right there. Next is Thunder Rosa, who is one of my favorites in the women's division for sure. I want to put her also in the God tier. Whoa, calm down there, bud. I'm going to put Thunder Rosa. Although I think Serena Deeb is slightly better in the ring. I think Thunder Rosa might be like a more interesting character. But we're going to put her right below Serena Deeb for now. Next is Yuka Sakazaki, who I miss and wish was back in the company. I might have a little bit of a crush on Yuka Sakazaki. That's beside the point, though. I'm a little biased. I'm going to rank her very highly here. I know you guys probably won't agree with me. Some of you might. Some of you probably get it. But she's a lot of fun. The crowd's always hot for her when she's there in AEW. So I'm going to put her in amazing tier. And we'll put her below Ruby Soho for now. But she's great. Alex Abrahante is great. Great manager. He's a lot of fun with Penta. So we're gonna put him up here pretty highly. He also I believe he did the Spanish lyrics for the Lucha Brothers theme song as well, and he did a hell of a job. He brings a lot of energy to the ring. I'm gonna put him in the great tier, but when I look at the other managers, I might move him up to amazing, just because I'm kind of judging him based on his role and comparing him to the others. But I'm gonna wait, but he might move up to amazing. Let me see where I put everyone else. Alex Marvez. He's not a great interviewer. He's very awkward, but he's kind of funny. Like, I kind of get a laugh at him. But I think I have to put him in garbage tier. I'm sorry. Nothing personal, kid. Next is Dasha Gonzalez. She's really good. But we don't see a whole lot of her on TV. I'm going to put her in good. Put her near the bottom. CM Punk. I mean, come on. Come on. Dude is legendary. Was one of my favorite wrestlers for a very long time. Still is. Obviously, the return of CM Punk was a major impact for AEW, and for wrestling as a whole. I mean, wrestling's been hot ever since CM Punk has come back, and not much I can really say about him. He's had some of my favorite matches. If you watched my video of the top 25 favorite wrestlers of all time, he's on there. How could he not be? One of the best promos in the business, if not the best promo. Probably top 5 promos of all time. Personal opinion, people will disagree depending on what era of wrestling you started watching. Big Punk fan though. Next is Excalibur, and this one's a controversial one. There's people that love him, there's people that hate him. I like Excalibur most of the time. Sometimes it can be a bit much, but like him and Taz together, phenomenal. I said earlier I don't watch Dark and Elevation, but I do sometimes watch the odd match here and there, or I'll see a clip that's shared on Twitter of someone sharing like a clip of them talking about a match. But it's a fun duo. I like Excalibur a lot. I'm gonna put Excalibur in great tier, and we'll put him below Anthony Bowens for now. Jim Ross, legendary, absolutely legendary. One of the voices of my childhood. I grew up watching the Attitude Era in the late '90s. Jim Ross was half of that voice. Obviously, Jerry the King Lawler was the other half. And even to this day, He makes moments so much more impactful when he's doing commentary. Sometimes he flubs up. Hey, we all do it. I did it a few times in this video alone. I'm not gonna hold that against him. Sometimes they're kind of funny. But other times, sometimes it's like, I can't believe he said that. But put yourself in his situation. You wouldn't be perfect either, right? It's a tough job to have, and I have nothing but respect for Jim Ross. He's done so much in this business, and he definitely deserves to be in the very top. Justin Roberts, we'll put him in good. I like Justin Roberts just fine. Taz, I almost want to put him in God tier as well, but I'm gonna put him in amazing. You know what? We'll put him in amazing. He's a decent manager for Team Taz. Obviously, as a wrestler, he was fantastic in ECW. Enjoyed his stuff in WWE, WWF, WWE. I think he got there when it was still WWF. If I remember right, he debuted against. Well, he had a match against Triple H, I think, who was ECW champion, but his official debut on the roster, I think it was against Kurt Angle, and I think he broke his streak, if I remember right. Anyways, but as a manager and as a commentator, he's great. Great promo. I really want to put him. You know what? I'm gonna put him in God tier. I don't even care. He deserves to be up there. Fantastic, great promo. Tony Schiavone. I like Tony Schiavone. Great interviewer. Decent on commentary. Sometimes he could be a bit much as well. I'm gonna put him in great. Maybe a step below Excalibur here, but I enjoy his work. Next, we have the referees here, and I'll try to be nice on some of these, because one thing that bothers me about AEW more than anything, I love AEW, probably my favorite wrestling program to watch currently. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, but one thing that drives me crazy sometimes is the lack of rule enforcement in matches, and obviously referees are a big part of that. Granted, they're just doing their job a lot of the times, but it drives me nuts. Aubrey Edwards, she's great. Probably even amazing. Probably the best referee they have. She's a lot of fun to watch. I know some people will disagree, say she does too much, she's distracting. I think she's fun to watch. I think, especially early on in AEW when she was getting Jericho's face and stuff during matches, she was great. And I wish she would enforce rules a little bit more, but that's not necessarily her fault. Frank, I'm looking at his picture here. I don't really recognize him. He doesn't really stand out to me, so I'm just going to put him at the bottom. Bryce Remberg is pretty solid. We'll put him in great. Mike Posey, he's pretty good as well. We'll put him at the top of good for the referees here. Paul Turner, we'll put him in great, right below Bryce. Rick Knox, I'm sorry, Rick Knox. I enjoyed. I feel bad because I enjoy when they signed him to AEW on being the Elite. He had a very touching moment. He was crying. It was a very heartfelt moment. I enjoyed seeing him stuff, doing, refereeing some matches on the Indies. So I've been watching him for quite a while. But he probably does the least than any of the other referees in terms of matches. He just stands there most of the time. It drives me nuts. Most of the time he refs the Young Bucks matches, and they're just doing all kinds of shit for 5 minutes straight, not trying to do any counts or anything. He just stands there. It just drives me nuts. As a person, though, seems like a lovely guy. Cody Rhodes. When AEW first started, Cody Rhodes was a constant highlight for me. Had some great matches. His match with Dustin Rhodes, his brother, formerly known as Goldust. Chef's kiss. One of the best that they've had. I enjoyed that match so much. He had some great matches. And he still puts on some good matches, but he kept doing things where he would disappear for a while, come back and randomly feud with a person for a week and leave again. It was very strange. And sometimes he does things just for the sake of doing them, and it's so strange. I remember there was a match. I can't remember what match it was exactly, but there was a match where no one's ever done this before. He's never done this before in a match. Randomly, Brandy was bringing him a bottle of water. Okay, that's weird. And then when she gave him the bottle of water, if I remember right, his opponent smashed him over the head with it or something. It was so contrived. It was so unnecessary. It drives me nuts. He's a good wrestler. Great promo. I'm still gonna put him. I'm starting to debate myself here a little bit. I'm gonna put him in amazing. And that's controversial still because some people would put him in the bottom. I think Cody brings a lot of value, and I'd really hope at some point he gets into a meaningful storyline. I know he's been doing right now, again, it's mid-November, so it might be moving on to something else by this point. I know he's in the middle of a feud with Malachi Black and Andrade, but I want him to move on to something else. I don't know what that something else would be, but I think he needs to turn like officially heel. The crowd doesn't like him. That's all I really got to say about it. He's had some great matches though, and like I said, he's a great promo. You can hate the guy all you want, but he is a good promo. I want to put him in amazing. For now, I think Riho and Bobby Fish are more consistent than he is. I want to put him above Andrade just because I feel like he's had more memorable matches than Andrade in AEW. But that's where I'm going to put him for now. This is going to take a long time to get through this. Jerry Lynn. We don't see too much of Jerry Lynn on TV. Every now and then we will. Legendary career, great matches in ECW. With like Rob Van Dam. His matches with Rob Van Dam are legendary. I want to put him in amazing just because I like him. He doesn't really do much on camera, but I like him. I love Jerry Lynn. We'll put him there. Vicky Guerrero. She's a great general manager in WWE. Had some great storylines with Edge, Dolph Ziggler. And she's a decent promo. She's definitely annoying. She definitely gets the crowd to boo her. She does her job well. I'm going to put her in great. Maybe below Tony Schiavone there. Next we have Arn Anderson. Glock Anderson. Arn Anderson's great. Great promo. When he gets involved in matches, it's always fun. As a manager, he's great. I'm going to put him in amazing as well. Above Aubrey. Tully, same thing. I love Tully. Put maybe below Arn Anderson. Boom Boom, Colt Cabana. I'm a big fan of Colt Cabana. Now, granted, he hasn't done too much in AEW. He's obviously with the Dark Order now. Probably a weird spot for him. I don't know why they put him in the Dark Order to begin with. I don't know if they were planning on doing a story, but then like Brody's death kind of took away from that because they were, I don't know, because he was kind of at that point like in Dark Order, but not really. He was still on the fence. And he hasn't really done much on his own in AEW. I'd like to see him go for like the TNT title maybe. He's a really good wrestler, great promo. I'm gonna put him in great, and we're gonna put him at the top. Just because he hasn't done much in AEW. If he's done more, maybe I'd put him in amazing. Oh, I should mention, I looked into to see, and I didn't see him on here. I don't think he is, but Jay Lethal, who just signed, when I'm recording this, he signed about a week ago with AEW at Full Gear. Not on this list. If Jay Lethal was on here, he'd be at the top of amazing. Maybe even got here, but he hasn't obviously done too much in AEW yet. But I love Jay Lethal, big fan. Anywho, next is Kenny Omega. Big fan of Kenny Omega. Massive fan. I liked probably his New Japan stuff more than I've liked his AEW stuff for the most part, although he's had some great matches. His matches with Moxley, John Moxley, were really, really good. Obviously, his match he just had with Hangman Page was amazing. He's had some great tag matches when he was teaming with Hangman, like against the Bucks. I mean, there's not much more to say about Kenny. He's a great wrestler, possibly one of the best. I'm going to rank him below CM Punk, personally, but he's up there. He's going to be top 5 regardless. He's fantastic. His matches with Okada obviously were amazing. I can go on and on about it, but I've been a fan of Omega's actually for a long time. I remember when he first debuted in PWG, and I was just kind of like a big fan of his since then, and was watching clips of him like wrestling like the young girl, and just seeing some of his matches in like DDT and stuff. I was just like, man, this guy's great. And then seeing his ascension at a certain point when he was in New Japan. And obviously when AJ Styles left, he kind of took over, as leader of the Bullet Club. Big fan of Kenny Omega, but we're going to put him behind CM Punk. Next is Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. I like Alex Reynolds. I like him and John Silver. They used to be known as the Beaver Boys. And I always thought they were a fun tag team then as well. But I want to put Alex Reynolds in the great tier. Oh, I actually grabbed Dax Hardwood there. We'll go Alex Reynolds. We'll put him below Ty Conti for now. Britt Baker, DMD, obviously has to go in God tier. She is fantastic. We'll put her... Honestly, I kind of prefer Serena over Britt a little bit. You know what? But Britt Baker's I would say a better promo. I'll put her above Serena Deeb. But I think Britt Baker's really good. She's improved so much since she first debuted in AEW. I wasn't that impressed with her But as she got more and more comfortable, started cutting more promos, she got really, really good. And we're going to put her up there pretty high. Next is Sammy Guevara, who I'm going to put in God tier as well. Current TNT champion as I'm recording this. We're going to put him one of the four pillars of AEW. We're going to put him just above Thunder Rosa. I think he's really good. Very exciting to watch. I'm going to start speeding up a little bit because we still got a lot to get through, and it's getting kind of late here. Next is Aaron Solo. I haven't seen too much of him yet from the Nightmare Factory. I'm going to put him in not so good just because I haven't seen too much of him. I'm sure he's been wrestling on Dark and Elevation. I'll put Austin Gunn slightly above because I love Billy Gunn. Next is Adam Cole, baby, which I'm going to put in God tier above Kenny Omega, which is going to cause a stir. But I've always enjoyed not Kenny Omega, but Adam Cole. Again, another guy I watched for a long time in Ring of Honor, PWG, obviously New Japan, NXT. Big fan of Adam Cole's. Such an awesome dude. Even like in real life, just outside of wrestling, watching his streams or his stuff on YouTube with like The Party and Up Down Down with Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, etc. etc. And I just think he's just in my opinion, this is my opinion. I think he's a better wrestler than Kenny Omega as well, and a much better promo. That's just my opinion though. I think he's great. Obviously, the only thing that really harms Adam Cole is maybe his size, maybe his physique a little bit, but I don't even care about that. I think he's awesome. We're going to put him right below CM Punk. Next is Hangman Adam Page, also going to go in God tier, and I'm going to put him above Britt but below Omega. I think he's great. Another guy I watched for quite a while, Ring of Honor, etc., etc. Always had a lot of promise. Finally, just reached that promise in AEW for winning the world title. And I'm excited to see where he goes with that world title. He's had some great matches, but I don't think he's quite had the career that Kenny Omega has had so far. But who knows? In a few years, he might rank higher. We'll see. Next is Alan Angels, who's pretty good. He's a pretty decent wrestler. I'm going to put him in the great tier. And I'll put him below. No, you know what? We'll put him in good tier. Let's it's starting to get a little heavy up the top here. So we're gonna start putting some people in the lower tiers here a little bit. But I like Alan Angels. He's good. He's obviously got a lot to he's got a lot of room for growth. He's pretty good. Next is Angelico. I like Angelico. I first saw him in Lucha Underground, and I thought he was great there. He's a little underrated in my opinion, just a little underrated. I'm gonna put him in great tier, above Alex Reynolds. I like to see more from Angelico. For sure. Next is Colton Gunn. I'll put him right next to his brother. Again, I don't know much about the Austin and Colton Gunn. They're still pretty green. They're still relatively new to the wrestling scene, but they're great. I enjoy them as a unit with their father Billy. Next is Daniel Garcia. Now we've seen a decent amount of him on AEW, Dynamite, and Rampage. He had some big matches against Punk and various other people. I think he's good, but I think he might be slightly overrated. But has a lot of promise, right? I think there's some growth there that he could have. I'm going to actually put him below Anthony Ogogo. That might be a little weird because he probably is a much better wrestler than Anthony Ogogo. I just find Anthony to be a little bit more interesting than Daniel Garcia. But, hey, give it a couple years, he could be, moving up to great, amazing, or God tier. We'll see. Maybe we'll revisit this type of tier list in the future. Dante Martin, amazing. Obviously, he's had quite the ascension in AEW as of late since his brother got injured. And I like to see him. I'm going to put him below Yuka, though, because Yuka's the GOAT. Dante's very impressive, though. Has a lot of promise and a big future. However, I think once his brother comes back, they'll probably just go back to being a tag team and probably win the tag titles at some point. But I'd like to see him continue being a solo guy. I think, hey, get this guy as a TNT champion. That's just my opinion. I think he's great. Darby Allin, God tier. I mean, guy's great. Has this, charisma about him. Very interesting character. One of probably the best. Like, I wouldn't say he's original because I heard of Darby Allin on like indie, but as far as like on the indies, and I saw some of his matches before he came to AEW. But as far as like a major company, and I'll even consider like Ring of Honor, because at one point it was, and obviously it kind of fell off a little bit. But I love Ring of Honor. As far as like even Impact or anything like that. Major company wise, he's never really been in a company, so this is kind of like his first like major company. So he's kind of an original in AEW. but I think he's awesome. In fact, I might put him slightly above Adam Page, but I like Adam Page a lot as well. I just find Darby Allin to be so interesting. He's so fluid in the ring. His suicide dives are incredible. Probably the best suicide dives in the business. You know, people do them all in their matches all the time. Some of them look sloppy. Some of them you can see, ahead of time it's gonna happen. This guy will suicide dive out of nowhere sometimes. It's so impressive. So he's great. Darius Martin, haven't seen too much of him, obviously because he got injured. But as a tag team with Dante, he was pretty decent. I want to put him in good. We'll put him a notch below Daniel Garcia. Next is Dax Hardwood, one of the best tag team wrestlers in the business. We'll put him at the top. And of course, we're going to put Cash there as well once we get to him. I'm going to move Jim Ross up a little bit just because he's such a legend. I'm going to put him up here above Britt Baker. I'm going to go Dax Hardwood. Probably below Britt Baker because I mean she's so good. In her division, she definitely deserves to be very high up. We'll put Dax there. Dustin Rhodes is incredible. I'm going to put him in amazing tier, even at his age. And I mean no disrespect by saying, even by his age, he's just incredible. Even today, his match against Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson was really really good. The one that they had a couple months ago. I think he's incredible. Eddie Kingston, God tier, and again a guy that I'd probably put above Adam Page. Just such a great promo. You feel like he's real. I know a lot of people have said that, so I hate to say that because so many people have, but it's true. He feels real. He feels authentic. His wrestling style is different than almost anybody else in the well, I want to say business, but in this company, his match against CM Punk was incredible. His match against Bryan Danielson was incredible. He's a great performer, man, and probably one of the best promos in the business. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Next is All Ego Ethan Page. Big fan of his. I'm going to put him, just because he hasn't done much in AEW. You know what? Screw it. We'll put him slightly above Dante for now. Dante's got a lot of room for growth as well, but Ethan, he's really good. Tightest tits in the business. And I'm just going to put him right there. Next is Evil Uno. We're going to put Evil Uno. We'll put him in great. We're going to put him above Alex, below Angelico. He's really good. I enjoy him and Stu as a team. Enjoy their work as a Smash Brothers. As Player Uno, when he was Player Uno. Anyways, next is Brian Cage, who, may or may not be in this company much longer, which is weird. He has everything. He's got size. He's a big guy. Lacks in the promo department, but he had Taz there for him. They just never really did anything with him. And I don't know if it's like an attitude thing or what. Not sure what happened with Brian Cage, but he's another guy I followed for quite a while, from PWG to Impact, Lucha Underground, and I think he's good. I'm gonna put him in amazing because I think he is really good. I'm gonna put him below Dante though. But I think Brian Cage is really good, and I'd like to see some more from him. I don't want to see him released. I just don't know what they can really do with him right now, but we'll see what happens. Next is Frankie Kazarian, who I'm a huge fan of. But he doesn't wrestle as much anymore. Slowing down quite a bit, maybe on the tail end of his career, since him and Daniels kind of parted ways, since Daniels kind of retired. I want to put Frankie... I want to put Frankie right below Ethan Page. I kind of want to move Colt. I'm going to move Colt Cabana up because I do think he's better than these guys here as far as like an in-ring wrestler goes. Next is Fuego del Sol. He's a likable guy. He is. Wrestling-wise, I haven't seen too much of his work. And I got to put some guys on these lower tiers. So I apologize, Mr. Fuego del Sol, but I'm going to move you down here. I think you are good. But again, that's just the name of the tier that I've always used, so sorry, bud. Next is Griff Garrison. Who the hell is Griff Garrison? Honestly, I think he's pretty good. He's definitely getting there. His team with Brian Pillman is a lot of fun to watch. I want to put him below Daniel Garcia, but above Darius. Next is Isaiah Cassidy from Private Party. I think Private Party are great. I wish we see more of them. You know what I mean? I want to see them have some more tag matches on TV. I'm sure they have matches on Elevation and Dark, but again, I don't watch them. I'm gonna put Isaiah. I'm gonna put Isaiah. He's still a little green, but he's still pretty good as well. I want to put him above Alex Reynolds, but below Evil Uno. There we go. Jack Evans. I was a fan of his work back in the day. He's been wrestling for a very long time. Very exciting to watch, but in AEW he's been kind of a bit of a botch machine. But I'm going to put some respect on him because he is very innovative. I'm going to put him a step below Angelico. But obviously, he's had a lot of injuries in his career. He's getting older. I don't see him wrestling for too much longer. At least not on a not on a large level. Not in the high end of the card. So I'm just gonna put him here. I'd like to see some more of him and Angelico on TV, but who knows if we'll see it. Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger. I've always liked Jack Swagger. When he won the world title in WWE, I was pretty happy for him. I've only been to one live event in wrestling. Well, at like a wrestling show, and it was Money in the Bank. I don't remember what year it was, but it was the year The Miz won, and the year Kane won. And it was when Jake Hager wrestled against Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio won the world title. I think he was defending it against Jake Hager or Jack Swagger at the time. And then Kane came out, helped Rey Mysterio, and then came back out and cashed in. It was a fun show. It was the only wrestling show I've been to live. Just because I like watching, wrestling at home. But it was a lot of fun. I like Jack Swagger, Jake Hager. Probably more so than most people do. Not the best promo, obviously, but in the ring he can go. I'm going to put him in amazing. I'm going to put him slightly above Brian Cage because I think he is probably just a little bit better than Brian Cage as far as like mat wrestling goes. I would say it's pretty fair to say, right? But I do think Dante might be a little bit more exciting to watch. And Dante, honestly, not a bad promo. He's not bad. Next is Jeff Parker from 2.0. I like 2.0. I want to put them in good. Put them at the top. Joey Janela. He's had some good matches in AEW. Obviously, kind of fell off a bit. I don't really see too much of him, really. I know he's on Dark and Elevation. He does stuff on the Indies. I'm going to put him in good as well. Maybe above 2.0. Next is John Silver, the Meat Man. We're going to put him... Johnny Hungy here. We're going to put him in amazing because he's great. So much character in this guy. His arms are bigger than my head. I'm a huge fan. I'm going to put John Silver right below Frankie Kazarian. Next is John Moxley, who definitely deserves to be in the God tier for sure. I'm going to put Moxley a step above Adam Page, but maybe below Eddie Kingston. Because I really, really like Eddie Kingston. Been a fan of his also for a long time from Shikara. Didn't watch Shikara a lot, but I would watch the King of Trios tournaments every year. Was a big fan. Next is Brian Pillman Jr. And I like his look. Obviously, he was still kind of green coming into AEW, but he's gotten more and more experience. And the more experience he's getting, the better he's getting. Obviously, that's how it works. I'm gonna put him at the top of great because I think he is great. Next is Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. I'm gonna put him in amazing. I really like Jungle Boy, and he's got a lot of growth there still, a lot of promise. He's getting more comfortable on the mic. He's cutting better promos. He's having great matches. I kind of want to put him in the top, but I'm going to put him in amazing because I like Bobby Fish just that much more. But man, Jungle Boy have a bright future. He's great. Next is Kip Sabian. We haven't seen too much of him lately either. After him and Miro split, he's kind of gone. I think Kip is a good athlete. He's an okay promo. I'm going to put him in good. Probably slightly above Alan Angels, maybe. He's probably better than Jeff Parker, but Jeff Parker and Matt Lee, I think his name is Matt Lee. Yeah, Matt Lee. He's probably a better wrestler than Joey Janela as well. I'll put him there, although I think Joey Janela might be more interesting to watch. Kip Sabian, he's good. Nothing wrong with him. Lance Archer, another guy I watched a long time in Impact, and then NXT for a short. Was it NXT he was in? No, he was in ECW, the relaunch of ECW, right? Man, those are the days. I like Lance Archer. He's a big guy, fun to watch. Former IWGP US champion. We're gonna put him in amazing. Probably put him. Do I like him more than Ethan Page? Yeah, just slightly, but not quite Yuka Sakazaki level. Next is Lee Johnson, who is another young guy, lots of promise. He's good. We'll put him. We'll put him below Griff Garrison there. Lee Moriarty, very impressive. Haven't seen too much of his work from the Indies or anything like that, but the stuff that I've seen so far has been very impressive. I'm gonna put him slightly above Angelico, but below Ty Conti. Leo Rush, obviously seen Leo Rush in WWE, NXT, as well as AEW. Great manager, great promo, very good heel, but very fun to watch in the ring as well. He's very quick. Some of the stuff he does is very impressive. I want to put him in amazing. Probably go. How appropriate, Dante and Leo Rush here, huh? I'll put him slightly above Jake Hager, but below Dante. Well, you know what? He's a little bit better than Dante, just because he's had more experience. But hey, in the future, Dante could surpass him. Next is Luchasaurus, he's a lot of fun. I do like Luchasaurus quite a bit. I'm gonna put him above Jake Hager, but below Dante. Next is Luther. No offense to Luther, but I mean, come on. I'm not gonna say much more than Mark Henry. Big fan. As a wrestler, the Hall of Pain stuff was legendary. Sexual Chocolate was legendary. Nation of Domination he was really good in. But we're talking about AEW as well here, obviously. He hasn't done too much commentary. Obviously, didn't really work out for him. He announces the main event for Rampage, which I do like. Nice little spot for him. Wealth of knowledge. I'm sure he's given a lot of these guys great advice, especially some of maybe these bigger guys. I'm going to put him in amazing because he definitely deserves to be in amazing. I'm going to put him right below Yuka Sakazaki. Next is Marco Stunt. I've never been a fan of Marco Stunt, no offense. His match against Lance Archer, though, was a lot of fun when he wrestled him. But otherwise, it doesn't quite do it for me, no offense. Bryan Danielson, come on. One of the best of all time. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Had my favorite WrestleMania moment of all time. He's got to go at the very top. Huge fan. Next is Mark Quinn. I like Mark Quinn maybe slightly more than Isaiah Cassidy in Private Party. I'm going to put him in great, right below Ty Conti. Well, I'd say Lee Moriarty is probably slightly better than him as well. But I think he's maybe a little bit more smoother than Angelico. Next is Matt Hardy. Obviously got to put him in amazing. Great body of work. One half of my favorite tag teams of all time with Jeff Hardy. Big Hardy Boys fan. We'll put him near the top as well. Right below Yuka Sakazaki. Even though stuff at AEW hasn't really been great, but his overall body of work makes up for it. Next is Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks. This will be controversial because there's people that hate the Young Bucks. I like the Young Bucks a lot. I'm going to put the Young Bucks, both of them, in God tier. Put them below Jim Ross there. That'll make Jim Ross very happy. And I'll put Nick slightly above Matt. Nick's a little bit more athletic. Matt Lee, very charismatic. Great promo. Honestly, don't know much about his wrestling, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to put him at the top of good. He's great. Should I put him in great? You know what? I'll put him in great. We'll put him above Excalibur, below Anthony Bowens. Matt Sydal, big fan of his. Again, watched a lot of his work in the early days before heading to WWE as Evan Bourne in WWE. His stuff on the Indies. And, of course, Impact run was pretty good. His tag team, was it Ricochet? I'm pretty sure it was Ricochet in New Japan before he got in trouble. That was a lot of fun to watch as well. He's gonna go in amazing. I'm gonna put him slightly above Andrade, but below Cody. I think Matt Sydal is very underrated. Very underrated. How many wrestlers do we have here, by the way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17? Okay. We're not doing too bad there. Next is Max Caster, who I think has a world of potential. He's going to go in amazing as well. Great promo. His raps to the ring are always hilarious. I'm going to put him above Luchasaurus but below Dante. Obviously, wrestling ability. Still has a little bit of work to do, but he's pretty good though. He's pretty good. But of course, he's very charismatic, which probably is more important than wrestling work, if you ask me. Michael Nakazawa doesn't do it for me. We'll put him at the bottom. Next is Miro, formerly known as Rusev. I like Miro a lot. I think he's doing great stuff in AEW. I'll probably put him a notch below Matt Sydal, but he's really, really good. Next is MJF. I wouldn't say he's the best promo in AEW, which might be surprising to people. I think he's really good, obviously. He's one of the best. A good wrestler as well. Best promo, I'd probably say is CM Punk. Eddie Kingston's right up there, though. Bryan's really good as well. Adam Cole's really good. MJF is definitely up there as well. He's a different kind of promo than some of these other guys. But sometimes he'll say some great material, but he doesn't let it breathe. You know what I mean? Like, he'll say something and instantly... Same thing with Max Caster, right? When he does his raps, he'll come to the ring, he'll say a line, and instead of letting the fans react to it, he goes on to the next line. So, just maybe, if he slowed it down just a hair, who am I to tell him that, right? But still, that's just my personal opinion. But obviously MJF's amazing. We'll put him in God tier where he belongs. Next is Malachi Black, who's also fantastic. I'm going to put him at the top of amazing for now, just because I feel like he hasn't had like that big breakout moment in AEW yet. Yeah, he's had those matches with Cody, essentially squashing Cody one match, which was impressive. But I really want to see him have like just a crazy match with somebody. And we'll get there eventually. Cash Wheeler we're going to put there along Dax here for FTR. Next is Nick Camarado. Big guy, good look. Haven't seen too much of his work yet. The stuff that I have seen, though, he looked a little green. We're going to put him in not so good, but I think he has a bright future for sure. Orange Cassidy. I like Orange Cassidy. He's a lot of fun to watch. Sometimes, but then other times he's kind of cringy, and sometimes it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Sometimes a little forced. But I do like Orange Cassidy. We're going to put him, and this is going to be kind of crazy because some people would put him at the very top or near the top. I'm going to put him below Max Caster. Just personally. That's not a bad thing. There's still, a lot of people beneath him on the list. But any of these other people I'd be more happy to see on a show before Orange Cassidy, just personally. But I do like Orange Cassidy. He's really good. Next is Ortiz. Big fan of Santana and Ortiz as a tag team. Wish we'd see more tag team matches out of them on TV. I'm going to put them pretty high, actually, in amazing. I'm going to put them over Matt Sydal, but below Cody. Pac, amazing. Right above Bobby Fish, but below Malachi Black. Paul White, formerly known as the Big Show. Hasn't done too much in AEW as a commentator. I haven't really seen too much from him. But from what I did hear, he was all right. He had that wrestling match against QT Marshall, which actually was fun to watch, even though it was very quick, as it should be. And of course, he had a great career. I'm going to put him in amazing too, because I think he belongs there. But I'm going to put him. I'll put him above Luchasaurus. Next is Penta El Ciro Miedo, or Pentagon Jr. Big fan of Pentagon. Big fan of Rey Fenix. I gotta put him in the God tier. And the thing is, we're running out of room in God tier, but that's alright. We might go a couple extra. I said I wanted to have like 20. There's like over 130 here. I mean, getting like 22 is not a big deal, right? I'm gonna put Pentagon right here. Next is Powerhouse Hobbs, who's doing quite well in AEW. I'm a big fan of his. I'm gonna put him in Amazing. I'm gonna put him for now right below Luchasaurus, but he's got a lot of upside. If we can get some more, we get a big impactful storyline for him, some good matches, could definitely move up that list pretty quick. Next is Preston Vance, who's I say he's pretty good. I like Preston Vance. I'm gonna put him in great. Probably put him right above Evil Luna, but below Jack Evans, but he's got a lot of upside. Peter Avalon, he's fun to watch. He's fun. We'll put him in good. We'll put him below Daniel Garcia. Chavo Guerrero Jr. I'm a big fan of, but he didn't really do much in AEW. Didn't last very long. But just because he has such a great career, I'm going to put him in the amazing tier, and we'll put him right there. Actually, we'll put him here. Next is QT Marshall. He's not bad. Excuse me. I'm going to put him in great. Maybe right there. No, we'll move him down a little bit. Right about here. Decent wrestler. Decent promo. Good mid card guy. Nothing wrong with him. We'll just keep him there. That's fine. Next is Ray Phoenix. We're gonna put him in the God tier as well. Probably put him just one notch below Pentagon, but I think Ray's incredible. Ricky Starks, great promo, good wrestler, decent commentator. Gonna put him in amazing tier. We're gonna put him. We'll put him below Yuka. Next is Santana. I like Santana slightly more than Ortiz. Big fan of this tag team though. Want to see more of them. Scorpio Sky. I like Scorpio Sky. Great athlete. Enjoying his work with Ethan Page. I want to put him right below Ricky Starks. Serpentico. He's okay. Haven't seen too much of his work. So I'm just going to put him here. Probably below these guys here. Next is Sean Dean. I honestly have no idea who this is. Must be on Elevation and Dark, exclusively. He may have been on Dynamite a couple times, but I really don't know who he is. So I'm just gonna. I'll put him above Marco Stunt. Sean Spears, the chairman. I like Sean Spears. I enjoyed his stuff as Ty Dillinger as well. I know some people didn't like it, thought it was kind of like just a one notes type thing, the 10-10-10. But you know what? I thought he was a lot of fun. Seems like a nice guy. Good wrestler. Decent promo. I'm going to put him in amazing tier. I'll put him a step above Big Show. Sonny Kiss, I haven't seen too much of. Great athlete. Has a lot of personality. I'm going to put Sonny Kiss in great. Let's put Sonny Kiss. We'll put Sonny Kiss below Matt Lee. Sting! It's Sting! Sting's actually been great in AEW. His matches have been pretty good. Better than I thought they were going to be. I mean, a lot of times he doesn't do a lot of nothing. He's just kind of there with Darby Allin. But I mean, Sting's obviously a legend. Very storied career. And definitely deserves to be high on the list. It's kind of weird when you have like these active wrestlers and these kind of like non-active wrestlers. But we'll put Sting. I don't want to put him in God tier because then I feel like I have to put like all the legends in God tier. I don't know where to place him. I'd put him higher than Matt Hardy. I'm not really ranking him against the active wrestlers because he isn't an active wrestler. But as far as like a manager, I'd find him funner than Matt Hardy. I don't know. We'll just put him there. Even though Matt Hardy does actively wrestle as well from time to time. Chris Jericho. the GOAT. I'm going to put Jericho in God tier. He's done so much for AEW. Him signing with AEW was a very big deal. Um, and him being the first champion was the right call, in my opinion. Legend. Guy's done everything, everywhere. Um, and he's had some great, incredible moments over the years. From WC, well, obviously he's wrestled all over the world, but I first saw him in WWE, then saw some of his other stuff in ECW and WCW later on. His stuff in Japan. I believe he wrestled in Mexico as well. I want to put Jericho, even though his last couple years, and maybe not even a couple years, maybe last year, he's kind of haven't been doing much for me. Um, Ever since like his feud with Orange Cassidy, it's kind of like, it's been kind of downhill for me personally. But his overall career, he's obviously one of the best of all time. I'm gonna put him right below Kenny Omega. Stu Grayson. I like Stu Grayson. He's a very good athlete. I'm gonna put him near the top of greats. I really like Ty. I'm gonna put him right below Ty Conti. The Blade. I think the Blade's great. Incredible physique. Fun tag team with him and the Butcher. I'm gonna put him in amazing. We'll put him near the bottom just because he hasn't done too much in AEW. In terms of like accolades or anything or big matches. But I think he's great. Same with the Butcher. I'd put maybe a step above Blade. Has a great look, fun to watch. I like them as a tag team. Trent? Question mark. I like Trent. He's a great wrestler. I thought he was gonna break out, do something in New Japan. Obviously, then he left for AEW. Currently injured, but he's had some great matches in AEW. I'm gonna put him in amazing tier. Would love to see him do some single stuff at some point. I'm gonna put him right below Orange Cassidy. Next is Wardlow, a guy we haven't seen do too much yet, but you know when he does do something, when he finally turns on MJF, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna put him at great, right below Ty for now. But I think when he finally does turn, and we get that feud with him and MJF, it's gonna be fantastic. And I think he's really gonna have a breakout moment. Future world champion easily, right? As long as he stays in AEW, doesn't move on to WWE or anything like that, doesn't have a falling out with somebody. I think he's got a load of potential. Next is Abaddon. I know people love Abaddon. I'm not a fan. Sorry. Bunny. You know, I followed Bunny for a while. Cherry Bomb. Then obviously she was Allie in Impact. Great look. Fun to watch. Her wrestling isn't super smooth, but it's not terrible. I'm going to put her in great. I'm going to put her above Preston Vance just because she has more experience. She's good. I like the Bunny. Anna Jay, I think, has a load of potential. Probably one of the most over female wrestlers they got on the roster. I'm going to put her at the very top of great. She's getting there. She's definitely getting there. Next is Big Swole. I like Big Swole. We're going to put her in good. Probably go a step below Anthony Ogogo. Probably Daniel Garcia a little bit higher than her as well. She's got some room for growth as well. Like to see more of her. I haven't really seen her much lately in AEW. Next is Brandy, who I think gets a lot of unnecessary hate. I'm going to put her in good. We'll put her above Peter Avalon. Next is Christian Cage. Obviously, fantastic wrestler. One half of one of the best tag teams of all time. Had a great solo career as well. Loved his stuff in Impact, WWE, obviously, and of course AEW. I want to put him in God tier. I want to put him slightly above Darby just because he has such a historic career. But honestly, I probably enjoy watching Darby more nowadays. But Christian's great, still a good promo, great wrestlers, had some great matches this year. We'll give it to him. Emi Sakura is a lot of fun. I remember when they had I think it was a 6-woman tag. Was it All Out or Double or Nothing? And it was a Joshi like showcase. It was the first time they had done like a Joshi match. and they got such a reaction from the crowd. They were incredible. The crowd was super into it. I didn't expect it. I was like kind of worried about it. I was like, I don't know if the crowd's gonna be into it. And she was a big part of it. She has a lot of charisma, does Emi Sakura. Great wrestler, obviously has had a long career. I'm gonna put her in amazing as well. And we'll put her a step below Yuka's. Yuka's she's a queen. Come on. We'll put her right there. She definitely deserves to be higher up on the list. Hikaru Shida, one of the top women in the company. We'll put her in God tier. I'm gonna put her above Serena. I enjoy Hikaru. Oh my God, Hikaru Shida. Sorry, it's getting late, and I've been talking for almost an hour in this video alone. I did 2 other videos before this that were each 30 minutes plus. Tier list, they take a lot out of me, but Hikaru Shida, fantastic wrestler. Want to see her more. Want to see some more stuff from her. Obviously, she was the champion during the pandemic. Did a great job with it. And just I put her slightly above Serena Deeb just because she's had more matches in AEW. She's had some high-profile matches. But I do think Serena Deeb might be a better wrestler. But I think Hikaru Shida's just had some better matches, more better matches for now. But we could see Serena Deeb rise above the ranks in the future. Jade Cargill is another one we haven't seen too much of on TV. She's done a lot of squash matches. Her tag match with Shaq against Jade and Cody was very fun. I think she's great. Tons of potential. Great physique. I mean, great physique is an understatement. She's made of stone. I want to put her in amazing, even though we haven't seen her do anything much yet on a major scale. But I want to put her at the bottom because I think she has a lot of charisma to her, and I think she's great. Great look, like I said. Definitely going to be a major star in the future for AEW. Next is Jamie Hayter. Haven't seen too much of her. I'm pretty sure she wrestled in Stardom for a while, but I haven't seen too much of her personally. So I'm just going to put her in good, and we'll put her near the bottom. Chris Statlander. I'm not a huge fan of the alien gimmick. I know a lot of people like Chris Statlander. I'm not a fan of it. Leva Bates, obviously formerly known as Blue Pants. I think she's good, but we haven't seen too much of her. I'm going to put her in the good tier. We'll put her here at the bottom. Next is Layla Hirsch, who I think has a lot of potential, but we haven't seen too much of her yet. I'm going to put her in great. And I'm going to put her near the bottom, though. Probably under Sunny Kiss. But she has a lot of potential. I think Layla Hirsch is going to be definitely a star in the future. Next is Nyla Rose. I think Nyla's great. She definitely brings something different to the division because of her sheer size. Had some great matches. Sometimes she could be a little sloppy, but I think that just kind of happens. Sometimes not her fault because of the inexperience of some of the other women and because she is so much bigger than the other women. But I think she's had some really good matches against like Shida. Her and Shida's had some great matches in the past. Her and Riho's had some great matches. I'm gonna put her in amazing, and I'm gonna put her for now above Ruby Soho just because she hasn't done much in AEW. But I think Ruby's probably a better wrestler overall. Next is Penelope Ford, who I think is a little underrated. She's getting a lot better in the ring. I want to put her in great tier. I'd like to see some more from Penelope. Hopefully we will in the future. I want to put her in great. Next is Rebel. I want to put her in good. I like Rebel. Liked her work in Impact as well. As part of the Menagerie. She's also part of Dollhouse as well, wasn't she? I'm pretty sure she was. Put her there. Chuck Taylor. I want to put Chuck Taylor. I want to put him in good. I like Chuck Taylor. No, I won't put him in great. He's funny. Has some charisma to him. Haven't seen too much from him on a solo side, but as tag teams with Trent, he's done some good stuff. We'll put him above Jack Evans, but below Angelico. And then, of course, we got Badass Billy Gunn, who was my first ever favorite wrestler that I've ever had when I was a kid. So I got to put him in God tier. I love Billy Gunn, even though he hasn't done much in AEW as far as high, big, main event matches or anything like that. But he's great. I'm going to put him Let's keep him near the bottom. That's fine. But anyways, guys, that's my tier list. That was a lot of wrestlers to get through. Over 130. Obviously, like I said, if Jay Lethal was on this list, because he's the only other signing I think that wasn't mentioned here, or is there anybody else? I don't know if Tony Nese is officially signed, but he was in the crowd a few times. Tony Nese is really good. I'd probably put him. Probably put him in amazing. Maybe right above Sean Spears. Maybe Jay Lethal would be an amazing top of the amazing tier, but definitely would borderline God tier for sure. Maybe right below Cody, maybe for now, and then see what he does in AEW, and then you could possibly rise up the ranks there a little bit. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this list goes. Let me know what you guys think. Did I kind of put one of your favorite wrestlers near the bottom, near the top? Do you agree with some of these wrestlers in here? Do you think some of these are a little overrated on my list? Should maybe be put down a notch or two? Let me know what you guys think. I'll put a link to this tier list in the description below if you guys want to make your own tier list. But until next time, I'm the Marvin Daniels, bidding you farewell, peace, and one love. Bang!